wanted to take this opportunity to kind of update you on some things, especially for 2021 and beyond, especially for this year's seniors. But even if you're a freshman through senior, this kind of helps prepare you as parents and youth kind of what to be looking for in this coming year or maybe the years to come on. Again, we want to welcome you to this. If you have questions, you're always welcome to either email us, call us, give us a ring, whatever you need to do, and we'll sure be glad to visit with you some on this. But, you know, we always talk about career preparedness, and we're going to talk a little bit about not only college, but also trade school as well. We realize there's a lot of kids out there, maybe college isn't meant for them, and we'll kind of include some of those as we go through this as well. Now, as we're comparing oranges to apples, let's say, you know, college has always been what we've talked about, but, you know, technical school trade is also something as well.
Yeah, so college, we're talking about the typical four-year program where you're going to graduate with a Bachelor's of Science or Bachelor in Arts. You stay on one track. There are certain courses that are required, but they're not always needed. So you still have to take some courses like English and history and science and things like that that may not go directly into what you foresee your future career being. The average cost of college is about $127,000 over the course of your 4 years. It does take you a bit longer to get into the workforce, although they do have things like internships and summer programs that are there to try and help you get onto your career path. But they are encouraged because it's more income over your life average rather than directly into the workforce.
And moving into our technical trade schools, it's a little different. It still has kind of a college feel when you do go to these technical schools or trade schools, but, you know, it's a shorter program. So 18 months to 24 months. So 1.5 to 2 years basically is what you're kind of looking at, which is a short-term deal in the long run instead of being a 4-year college. But taking only the courses you need, it makes it a little more, I guess, a little more entertaining, a little more worthy for what you're trying to pursue, whether that be welding, a heating and air conditioner, mechanic, whatever the case may be. You take only the courses you need and you're studying what you need to, buying those books that you only need to, so on and so forth. And it really kind of goes along the same route. $33,000 is kind of the average cost of that. Again, plus or minus, always consider, you know, what you have as far as housing and food and books and all that good stuff in there as well. But, you know, there's a lot of these technical school, trade schools that'll sure help you out, reaching out and get some of the money that you need for this. Also, you start earning money sooner. So basically, you'll come out of high school, get your trade school, get in there for 1.5 to 2 years, and then next thing you know, you're back into the workforce. So at age 20, 21, you can be in the workforce making your money a lot quicker than a college kid could. But there again, you're focused kind of on what you're wanting to do and what you're love to do as far as the job goes. Then, you know, you just want to say it fits your passion, it fits what you want to do.
And I think the important thing is whichever track you take, that's okay, as long as you're getting more beyond high school. That's the encouraging side of either college or technical schools. You're just getting more, and you're getting more in depth into your program.
Right. And you can always go back and take the college course if you really want to go into getting a degree of some kind. Maybe you want to teach it, or maybe you want to move on to a different job. That's okay too. Let's see. As we move into getting prepared for college or for your trade schools, FAFSAs are very important things. You can start filling these guys out October 1. So if your kid graduates May of 21, starting here in another month or so, you can go ahead and fill this application out and get it ready and know where you're standing at. And they say early bird gets worm. Sometimes that's the case with this as well, because some of these grants and stuff that you will get through this, financial aid that you'll get through this, you'll know soon enough where you're at and what you need to be pursuing as far as other scholarships or grants down the road as well. But when you get into this FAFSA, and we'll share you a link, but basically just type in FAFSA. Don't pay for somebody to do it. You can do this on your own. It does take a little time. There's no doubt about that, but you can do it and be successful with it as well. But the youth will fill out an application. So they'll create their own account and they'll fill out an application. Then mom, dad, whoever, the parent will set up an account and fill out their own application as well. And then it'll merge these two, and take the 1040, basically your tax return, and it'll merge it into that youth form all into one group. And it's pretty slick because you can electronically do this. You don't have to mail this stuff off or anything else, but you can electronically do this. And basically, once you submit that, it may take a couple of weeks at the most. Now, the later you get on into the year, after the first year, it may take more than a couple of weeks, but you'll know pretty quick what you can receive as far as grants or financial aid, whether that be a Texas grant, a Pell grant, whatever it is. It'll let you know pretty quick what you're expected to get in the coming year. And then keep up and keep doing this year after year after year. Every time your kid's in school, whether it's trade school or college, you fill it out every year. And again, it's available October 1, so do those as quick as you can and get your results back as quick as you can.
So the FAFSA you do have to fill out, but this will help you know which grants or financial aid you can receive. And you can't get them if you don't apply. Scholarships and grants are out there in a variety of sources, but the average company is not going to come look for you. You have to look for them. They are going to have feelers out for who is applying. So there's different types of scholarships. So you can get high school scholarships, college scholarships, a technical scholarship, towns, different businesses, Walmart, Target, Hobby Lobby has, big corporations have scholarships. Several of our community service clubs have a scholarship. You just have to really start to look. There are even websites on the internet where that's all they have access to is they're just scholarship websites. So you reach out to your colleges, your trade schools, see what scholarships or what incentives they have. The idea is once you filled out your FAFSA, then you know where you can look. Details are key when you're filling out any application. So make sure you're reading each of the questions correctly and what they're looking for. The way you apply for one scholarship and grant will be completely different than how you apply for another one. But at the same time, there are some scholarships where it's exactly the same. So if you fill out the basic form, then you can paste that letter in over and over and over again. You don't have to retype it. So save your work into a document where you can just copy and paste if you need to. But make sure you're getting all of the information in for that particular application or scholarship application, and keep looking for those scholarships. Looking for a scholarship could be a full-time 40-hour-a-week job, but making sure you have everything down and in correctly is that important part.
Right. Okay, and as we move through this stuff, there's some other details that maybe we'll forget, but we'll try to add to that as well. I will say some of these outside scholarships that I want to kind of hit on, and Melanie will touch on a few of them too. Sometimes they're kind of more related to 4-H or FFA just because that seems to be our forte, so to say. But we wanted to share some information with you. So if there's any kids that are going to go to UT, A&M University, Houston, Texas State, University of Texas, San Antonio, basically those colleges listed under Texas Tech, TW. Those are Terry Foundation schools that will allow you to go there. And basically you'll fill out this application basically in the fall, and you'll kind of go through a process where they'll kind of eliminate some and pick some. And the next thing you know, you're either in or you're out. But the thing about this Terry Foundation is it's very good because it'll pay for the entire school. It'll pay for your books, it'll pay for your rent, it'll pay for your food. I mean, they're really good about paying for everything. We've had a kid or two here in the county that has received a Terry Foundation scholarship before, and it's very, very good to have. I will say that it is, again, oriented with what school you're going to go to, but there's those lists of schools that it is associated with. If you have a kid that maybe wants to go to Oklahoma State, an ag kind of a kid, and that's where a lot of ag kids tend to go to, here's another opportunity. That's the McKnight Scholarship. This scholarship is basically kind of like the Terry Foundation Scholarship, except it's for those kids in West Texas areas. Basically, west of 35 kind of gets them in that group. But again, it's kind of for those rural kids that have that ag background, also want to go pursue some of that up at Oklahoma State. Very good scholarship. Again, pays basically like the Terry Foundation Scholarship, except it's for Texas kids wanting to go to Oklahoma State.
Of course, you have your 4-H and FFA scholarships that can range from anywhere from about $3,000 to $20,000. And those come out you have to get those in about February of, if you're going to graduate in 2021, then you need to get those in February in 2021. And there's a process where you fill out the application. You do have to do a face-to-face interview. Sometimes that's different, whether it's online face-to-face or in-person face-to-face. Now, if you get that Terry Foundation scholarship and you're going to one of those schools, they do ask you to relinquish any 4-H FFA scholarship that you might receive. Additionally, there are things like the Coca-Cola scholarship, which is $20,000. The 4-H Foundation has a range of $3,000 to $20,000, and you can go through their website that you can see on the slide and check with your universities. Most of them you're going to have to apply by February or before February 1st, but the universities will have scholarships for different programs. You just have to check with the program and at the university. They'll have donors and people that are reaching out to help people in that program.
And of course, the sooner you apply for those university scholarships, the higher up the ladder you'll be, so to say. So you have a chance of getting something before somebody else does, for sure.
Correct. Additional ones, you have your National Merit Scholarship, which is grades. There is the HLSR, which is about $20,000 for exhibitors and LAM participants. State Fair of Texas has a $6,000 scholarship. The Texas Extension Education Association, that would be the TEA, there is a scholarship for that. They look for a award recipient in early spring, so they're looking for scholarships in by February. The Texas Dove Hunters has a scholarship. San Antonio Leadership Tour has a scholarship. FastWeb scholarships, these are online and they will email you daily and it's free. Like I said, there's one of those websites online that they get scholarships, they look for scholarships, and they tell you which ones you are eligible for, because there are a variety of scholarships out there. Anything from, somebody who's going, I want someone who's a redhead with green eyes. I mean, I want to give a scholarship to that type of person. And that's some of those websites, that's what they look for.
So preparing for your future, be aggressive and start exploring as a high school student. I mean, especially your freshman, sophomore year. Some of you may be driving by these schools. Maybe you're going to visit kin folks or whatever the case may be. Maybe you're going down there for a judging contest, whatever the case may be. Go visit some of these schools and see if you like these things, and make it a point to stop in, walk campus. If people are there, ask a few questions. They set up tours, go take them.
Definitely get on to the campus, even if it's a virtual tour right now. There are colleges that are doing that. Additionally, take the ACT or SAT or both at least once, especially as a freshman. That way, if you know that you didn't get quite the score you want, then you can take it again. But while some colleges are starting to go away from the ACT or SAT as part of their college application, a lot of them are not. And so it's much better to have taken it so that you have that information to share than to not have it and not be able to turn in a completed application. And balance your career goals with program opportunities. Is there something that you're interested in? You know, look at what careers you want, what you might be interested in, and actually seek out people that could help you learn more about that program. We do have a lot of program opportunities through 4-H. And keep in mind that some of our opportunities you may not think will fit with your career goals, but they actually do. Learning how to talk to people and talk in front of people is a big bonus as you get into the workforce.
Yeah. And again, we kind of recover or repeat some of this stuff, but your annual visit to college, again, learn that admission, that financial aid, go talk with those folks, the housing, go walk through some of those housings, if they have those dorms, if they let you, or apartments, whatever they may have. Food plan, does that food plan fit you? Do you have to buy a food plan? Are there different levels? I'm just telling you that thing can make a big difference on how much you do spend out there. And again, we'll repeat, go visit. I mean, see if you like it there. Do you like West Texas? Do you like East Texas, South Texas, wherever you're going, OSU, Alabama, wherever you're thinking you want to go visit those places. Here are some websites available, and we'll leave this on here for a minute, but there's different places to go to look at things and figure out what you want to do and where you want to go to. But these are kind of some of the resources you can look for and put to use for yourself. A lot of this stuff, you just kind of got to read through and find what you want, what you need to find, and what the colleges are accepting or not accepting. In there, I did put some colleges are looking at relaxing testing options. There's actually a video that they shot up in Pittsburgh, I believe it was, and talking about how some of those colleges up there are starting to relax that ACT deal. So keep in mind, wherever you're going, be prepared to go there. That's why I always say, look at it in the fall, and then that gives you some time to start kind of planning your year out, so to say. Here is also the FAFSA website. Again, the student will fill out their section, the parent will fill out their section, they'll kind of merge, and everybody will put the 1040 in that deal. All that stuff becomes quite efficient as long as you remember how to get in there and remember your password. So sure, write those things down. I will tell you this, apply for Texas or applytexas.org. That is where, when you're going to colleges here in the state of Texas, you actually have to apply through this website. Some of them are free. A lot of them are $40 applications, $75 applications, and you have to fill it out. And it's kind of like filling out, I guess, a scholarship application, because they're asking you certain questions, who you are, where you live, that kind of stuff. But then again, some of them are a little more technical, some of them aren't. Some of them want you to write an essay, just depending on what the college is. But be prepared that this is how, if you're going to go on to a college somewhere, this is how you're going to do it.
So a few about financial aid. If you feel like your parents might make too much money, so you'll never qualify. Only people with a perfect GPA get scholarships. You can only get financial aid if you pay someone to help you find it. These are all myths. Even a millionaire can receive financial aid. A big part of that is getting on the FAFSA, to filling out that FAFSA to know what you are eligible for. Scholarships are not always awarded based solely on GPA. Frequently it is interest. It's some scholarships, they are focused on who shows the most passion for the career ahead of them. You don't need to pay anybody for help. you can build a positive relationship with your school's financial aid office, and you can look out for different scholarships. If you go somewhere and see something about a scholarship, grab the pamphlet and bring it with you. So scholarships are, financial aid is not a big black hole of craziness. It's out there, and it is possible to help people get through these additional schooling that they want to get through.
And I will say, speaking with financial aid office, the worst times to try to visit with them is right at the start of the school semester, whether that's in the fall or the spring. Visit with them, in October or November when everything's kind of settled down, or visit with them in January, February, March kind of deal when everything's kind of settling down a little bit. And you'll get a lot more information out of them and kind of build that positive relationship like we stated. So to wrap things up, again, preparation is the best. Be prepared. Always have your ducks in a row. Make copies of things that you need. Have everything that you think you want to have. Be sure to get your transcripts. I know a lot of schools won't give you a transcript until after Christmas on your senior year, but it doesn't hurt to go ask for a transcript, even if freshman, sophomore year, junior year, just to kind of see where you're standing at as far as grades are going, and you have a little time maybe to make some of that stuff up.
Get out there and actually visit those colleges or trade schools. Go out and see if that's where you want to be. If you could see yourself living in that environment, go out there and see what it's all about.
And do those school applications in the fall, again, through that Apply Texas, your FAFSA in the fall, different scholarships that are fall related, summer, spring, know which are which, get ready for those.
Now is the time to research, especially if you're starting with freshman kids. Now is the time to start figuring out what you want to apply for and where you want to apply, but take that time to research. Taking the time now will cause a lot less headache in the future. So we want everybody to have an enjoyable admissions process.
Right.
It can be.
Yeah, we want everybody to enjoy themselves and make this, spread this thing out over 3 or 4 years if you can, because it'll sure make it easier instead of waiting until their senior year or the spring of their senior year trying to figure all this stuff out. Like let's take Texas A&M. If you want to apply and go to school there, they're already taking applications for next year and have been the last couple of months. So, the sooner you get kind of on that ladder, the sooner you'll know if you'll get accepted to that school as well. Again, if you've got any questions for us, any comments, you're welcome to holler at us, email us, whatever you think you need to do here at the Montague County Extension Office. Our number here is 940-894-2831. Or you can get on our Facebook sometimes and message us. We're available that way as well. But we're not hard to get a hold of if you've got questions for us. Melanie, have you got anything else you'd like to add?
I don't. Just keep your head up and start working now towards it so it doesn't become an overwhelming struggle. That's the biggest one. We do want everyone to reach out to us with questions if they have them or if they need additional help, and don't hesitate. We're here for you guys.
And thank you very much.
Thank you.